President Widodo, distinguished guests, honored guests, ladies and gentlemen, I have a prepared speech, but I will not read it, not because the Americans are not here, but because I would like to add something to the dimensions of our friendship. First, I affirm that the Indonesians and the Filipinos are brothers by blood because we come from the same genetical order, the Malay race. And as a matter of fact, actually the Philippines at that time, the islands, was part of the Sri Visayas Empire of the Malay. I really forgot his name because it has long been history. But ever since, we have always considered ourselves as Malay. And that is why all of us are handsome and beautiful. I also affirm our brotherhood and my commitment to do everything to promote and enhance this brotherhood. I commit that there will never be a time that we'll have any questions about our territories and about our policies because we share the same values. I commit that we will, during our time, follow a path of neutrality, just like your country, Indonesia. It's always been neutral. And though my color is a bit blurred, I would like to just be also like Indonesians. Neutral and no color, except just being handsome and beautiful. I also affirm our fight against drugs. It is your problem, it is my problem, and we will have to interdict. Mr. President, I did not order a police punitive action. This is not a matter of just only the worry belongs to the police. By the sheer number in my country, about 3,700,000, I have declared war. And that is why a lot of them are killed, but I'm just giving you this, at least an added information. That unlike the poppy, opium, and the derivative is the cocaine and heroin, and even marijuana, maybe not in a very abusive use, it's not that lethal. But shabu is a mixture of deadly chemicals. And even the water used to melt the shabu is the water we use to put into our batteries, in the car battery. That is how toxic it is. And the forensics of the America, not us, did a study, because it's being produced now in Mexico in numbers also, said that constant use for about 6 months to 1 year of shabu will shrink the brain of a person. And therefore, rehabilitation is no longer a viable option. So what would we do with this problem? And I can understand your death penalty. It is right. It should be. The only problem is in my country, they remove the death penalty. And so many are just being abusive. And that is why it gave rise to many issues about human rights. Because in my city, when I was mayor, that was a statement, a sweeping one, that you go out of the city, you criminals, you kidnappers and drug pushers. Because if you stay here, I will kill you. That was really a policy. Whether I did it at all or not, is there an American here? Well, that is something which I shared with the President. That is a matter that is being, well, discussed only among, I'm not being, feeling big, but that matter should only be discussed. There are matters which belongs only to us in our minds. And you can just see what is in our mind by the way our subordinates would run the show. And so, before I end, Mr. President, people of Indonesia, please accept my gratitude for accepting us here as brothers, and I will also commit this tonight that your brothers in my country will be treated as Filipinos worldwide. And we will even allow them to vote. Go ahead and vote, because I've always been voting anyway, so we know that. Yeah, because you're going to treat them. For those Indonesians who are really there, who were born there, they vote. Because they are included in the census. So they vote. So next time I would say, Mr. President, Mr. Mayor, who shall I vote? I said, call your Indonesian friends who are the candidates. But anyway, it might be a joke, but it is true. For those who have been born here, who never had the chance to travel, they are all Filipinos, and we love them. And as a matter of fact, we informed the President when we were young. We were in the same neighborhood with the Secretary of Finance. The consul then was Ringkirwang, and Sunny got his number, and we met since we separated. But they were the vice consul of Indonesia, and they can tell you that we have, as much as we have identified always with you. On the last note, I would say that I said this is just the event of life, and I want the Filipinos to forever remember this. During the 1972 oil crisis, when the oil-producing nations tried to control the price by just lowering their production and making it hard for everybody to get hold of oil, there was this crisis. And the Philippines was hard-pressed. And there was a time when there was already to ration everything. But at some point of that crisis, Indonesia came up with a very strong statement. Do not worry. You will have your oil, and you will continue to progress. For that alone, and for the many things that you have done, Mr. President, if you want to get back to the imperialists, and if you want to invade the Dutch in the Europe, tell us, we will join you. Maraming salamat po. Salam. Salam. And may I propose a toast to the good health of President Widodo, and may Indonesia continue to be a beautiful country for the next 1,000 years.
Oke, clear. Kalau udah gantian ke belakang. Oke, clear ya. Oke, gantian. Udah cukup.
Bapak. Bapak jangan dicoba lagi.
This is 6 5 years.
distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, a very good afternoon to all of you. Before we commence with the witness of the joint declaration by both presidents, we are now distributing headsets and receivers. Please be informed that Channel 1 is Bahasa Indonesia and Channel 2 is in English. Channel 1 is Bahasa Indonesia and Channel 2 is in English. Please do not forget also to silence your mobile phones. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, please do not forget to silence your mobile phones. Thank you. Shortly, we will witness the signing of the joint declaration by both presidents, President Joko Widodo and President Rodrigo Roa Duterte, on cooperation to ensure maritime security in Sulu Sea. Their Excellencies President Widodo and President Roa Duterte will now sign a joint declaration by the President of the Republic of Indonesia and President of the Republic of the Philippines on cooperation to ensure maritime security in Sulu Sea. We are now witnessing the signing of this joint declaration by both presidents. Exchange of documents will now take place. Ladies and gentlemen, this concludes the signing of the joint declaration by both presidents. Let us extend a round of applause, and photographers are taking pictures of this momentous event. And we will now take a short break before continuing on with a joint press statement by both presidents. May we again remind you that headsets and receivers have been distributed. Channel 1 is in Bahasa Indonesia and Channel 2 is in English. Please take a few moments to bear with us as we are now preparing the podium and microphones for the joint press statement. Ladies and gentlemen, may we remind you again that we have distributed headsets and receivers. Please refer to channel 2 for English. For Filipino delegates, please refer to channel 2 in English. Thank you.
Yang mana? Yang mana Pak ini? Yang mana Pak? Ini. Mi, buatnya Pak Agus mana Mi?
Ah, itu kelamaan.
Ini aku matiin atau enggak? Wifi.
Tinggal yang merahnya kan. Sono biar kelihatan.
May we have your attention once again, ladies and gentlemen. We will now soon commence with the joint press statement. First of all, from the President of the Republic of Indonesia and the President of the Republic of the Philippines.
Yang mulia Presiden Rodrigo Duterte, merupakan kehormatan bagi Indonesia menerima kunjungan kenegaraan Presiden Duterte, dan tadi Presiden Duterte dengan saya baru saja melakukan pertemuan bilateral yang sangat produktif dan bersahabat. Ada 3 hal yang perlu saya sampaikan. Yang pertama, saya ingin mengucapkan terima kasih kepada Presiden Duterte terhadap 177 orang calon haji kita yang bermasalah dan 168 sudah diselesaikan. Kami ucapkan terima kasih. Dan yang 9 masih di Manila, kami tadi juga meminta agar juga dibantu untuk secepatnya bisa diselesaikan. Yang kedua, kami juga ingin mengucapkan terima kasih atas kerjasama yang telah diberikan oleh pemerintah Filipina, oleh Presiden Duterte atas masalah yang kira-kira ada 700 WNI kita yang sekarang ini sudah berada di Saudi Arabia menunaikan
ibadah haji, tetapi lewat kuota dari Filipina. Dan tadi Presiden Duterte juga sudah menyampaikan untuk juga ini bisa diselesaikan bersama-sama. Sekali lagi kami mengucapkan terima kasih. Kemudian yang ketiga, kami juga ingin mengucapkan terima kasih atas kerjasama dalam menjamin keamanan di Laut Sulu, dan kita harapkan ke depan sudah tidak ada masalah keamanan lagi di Laut Sulu, dan kita akan bersama-sama berpatroli untuk menjamin keamanan di laut itu. Saya kira 3 hal itu yang bisa saya sampaikan pada sore hari ini, dan saya persilakan Presiden Duterte untuk menyampaikan statementnya.
Thank you, President. Your Excellency. Again, I express gratitude for your warm welcome and the exceptional arrangements accorded to me and my delegation during my visit to Indonesia. I am very pleased and honored to be in Jakarta. The Philippines considers relations with Indonesia as among the most important, and today we will take steps to ensure that these ties remain vibrant and will gain greater depth and new dimensions. My meeting with President Duterte was very productive and good. We discussed ways of strengthening existing bilateral cooperation and identified new areas of partnership, including maritime, security, and law enforcement. We agreed to encourage the earliest and effective implementation of cooperative framework to address security issues, which is really the most problem of the two countries. We express commitment to take all necessary steps to ensure security in the sea and maritime areas of common interest. As two of the largest archipelagos in the world, we recognize the value of maritime cooperation, and we will explore in this area, particularly among the archipelago. And of course, arrangements between aquatic resources, expertise, and the shipbuilding industry. We also express serious concern on the recent developments in the region, including the South China Sea. We call on parties to respect the rule of law and welcome the support of partners in effort to ensure the security and stability of the region, especially the peaceful settlement of disputes in accordance with international law. We understand that peace is a necessary condition for growth and progress. I express appreciation for Indonesia's abiding support to the Philippine government as we move forward with our peace processes. We also recognize the value of connectivity in spurring and sustaining growth in our countries. We discussed ways to boost air and sea connectivity and how to enhance trade and people-to-people exchanges that can improve the lives, particularly in the area of the BIT. Both sides let us view with great concern the threat of terrorism and violent extremism. We agreed to work together to prevent, arrest, and prosecute all those who seek to sow fear and terror in our societies. We share the deep concern over trade in illicit and illegal drugs and its impact on our society. We will seek ways to intensify cooperation and the campaign against this menace. We all will do our part in contributing with the aim of a drug-free ASEAN community. With the President's chairmanship of ASEAN in 2017, I am glad to hear President Widodo's support for the Philippines. I look forward to working closely with him on regional initiatives and that will strengthen ASEAN. Certainly, the ties that bind the Philippines and Indonesia are long and enduring. The Philippines holds its relations with Indonesia as one that is truly valued. Indonesia is not only a friend, but a brother. Indonesia is assured of the Philippines' commitment to grow these relations in the years to come. I look forward to reciprocating President Widodo's hospitality when he visits the Philippines at a mutually convenient time. I look forward to working closely with my friend and brother. I add to the, just a few minutes, Mr. President. In 1972, there was this problem of oil, and there was almost a crisis. And there was rationing of fuel all over, including my country, the Philippines. I was still a student at the time when I read the assurance of the Indonesian government that not to worry if no oil would get to us by way of the Middle East. And they said that you Filipinos will be supported by Indonesia. You will have your oil and gasoline. For that, I just, as a vignette in life, to just inform how Indonesia has treated us like a big brother. And we will continue to maintain this valued friendship, Mr. President. Thank you, and I thank the Indonesian people.
Excellencies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, this concludes the joint press statement by both presidents, President Widodo and President Duterte. Thank you very much for your kind attention and attendance, and enjoy your stay here in Jakarta. Have a pleasant evening.
Sa inyo lalo, masinag. Katanya 1 orang itu. Pak.
The laying of the wreath at the monument by His Excellency, the President of the Republic of the Philippines.
Bapak dampingin Pak Panglima. Ya.
I have declared war, and that is why a lot of them are killed, but I'm just giving you this, at least an added information, that unlike the poppy, opium, and the derivative is the cocaine and heroin, and even marijuana, maybe not in a very abusive use, it's not that lethal. But shabu is a mixture of deadly chemicals. And even the water used to melt the shabu is the water we use to put into our batteries, in the car battery. That is how toxic it is. And the forensics of the America, not us, did a study, because it's being produced now in Mexico in numbers also, so that constant use for about 6 months to 1 year of shabu will shrink the brain of a person. And therefore, rehabilitation is no longer a viable option. So what would we do with this? By the way, our subordinates would run the show. And so, before I end, Mr. President, people of Indonesia, please accept my gratitude for accepting us here as brothers, and I will also commit this tonight that your brothers in my country will be treated as Filipinos worldwide. And we will even allow them to vote. Go ahead and vote, because I've always been voting anyway, so we know that. Yeah, because you're going to treat them. For those Indonesians who are really there, who were born there, they vote, because they are included in the census. So they vote. So next time I would say, Mr. President, Mr. Mayor, who shall I vote? I said, call your Indonesian friends who are the candidates. But anyway, it might be a joke, but it is true. For those who are Your Excellency, President Widodo, distinguished guests, honored guests, ladies and gentlemen, I have a prepared speech, but I will not read it, not because the Americans are not here, but because I would like to add something to the dimensions of our friendship. First, I affirm that the Indonesians and the Filipinos are brothers by blood because we come from the same genetical order, the Malay race. And as a matter of fact, actually, the Philippines at that time, the islands, was part of the Sri Visayas Empire of the Malay. I really forgot his name because it has long been history. But ever since, we have always considered ourselves as Malay. And that is why all of us are handsome and beautiful. I also affirm our brotherhood and my commitment to do everything to promote an problem. And I can understand your death penalty. It is right. It should be. The only problem is in my country, they remove the death penalty. And so many are just being abusive. And that is why it gave rise to many issues about human rights. Because in my city, when I was mayor, that was a statement, a sweeping one, that you go out of the city, you criminals, you kidnappers and drug pushers. Because if you stay here, I will kill you. That was really a policy. Whether I did it at all or not, is there an American here? Well, that is something which I shared with the President. That is a matter that is being, well, discussed only among, I'm not being, feeling big, But that matter should only be discussed. There are matters which belongs only to us in our minds. And you can just see what is in our mind as his brotherhood. I commit that there will never be a time that we'll have any questions about our territories and about our policies because we share the same values. I commit that we will, during our time, follow a path of neutrality, just like your country, Indonesia. So it's been neutral. And though my color is a bit blurred, I would like to just be also like Indonesians. Neutral and no color, except just being handsome and beautiful. I also affirm our fight against drugs. It is your problem, it is my problem, and we will have to interdict. Mr. President, I did not order a police punitive action. This is not a matter of just only the worry belongs to the police. By the sheer number in my country, about 3,700,000